See if K1 GMM is still in there.
K3AC, I think a shock mount would help Rick there with whatever those noises he's generating.
Yeah, he should try removing it from the boom and just either hold it very carefully or quietly and see what happens.
Hey, Ron, what kind of microphone are you using?
I'm using a Behringer XM8500. It's a cheap dynamic mic. It was about $21 on Amazon.
Oh,
and
it sounds
it's an
great.
excellent
It really
microphone despite the low price.
Yeah, it's they call it an XM8500 knockoff. There's comparisons between the SM58. It looks just like an SM58 except it's black on the end. Doesn't have the switch on it, and they've done comparisons. It's very similar in sound to the SM58, and I removed the windscreen, so maybe that helps a little bit too. I'm not using any rack equipment. It's this microphone. It's an XLR plug. Goes into a Focusrite audio. That goes into. I'm using ASIO driver, and I'm selecting that driver in the VAC, and that's it. That's all I'm doing.
It sounds good. So don't touch anything. Don't play with any knobs, and just sit back and enjoy that radio.
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, it's been good. I've been getting enough good audio reports where I said I don't have to play with this anymore.
Yeah, I'm using an RE27 straight in with just the transmit EQ set on in the Anon. No external audio gear.
Are you flat, Bob?
Am I flat?
Yeah, no EQ, flat?
No, I have the EQ on, but I last week when I first hooked all this up, I was running an EQ Plus, and took that out, and I'm just running the EQ and the Anon.
Okay, I don't know how you can manipulate the EQ in the Anon. Is what I was kind of referring to. But do you have any booster
it's a
cut
10-band EQ with
or are
sliders,
you flat?
From low bass frequencies, mid-range, and treble, and all those frequencies are adjustable.
Right. I'm sorry, we doubled a little bit. I was just wondering if you were flat response, or have you boosted, or have you cut anywhere through the spectrum?
I boost around 2,000 to 2,500, the treble, and do a slow rise from 300 up to about 1,500.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got to do that with any dynamic mic. I think that's Rick.
Ray?
You got to do that with any dynamic mic. I'll take my EQ off. I have a very similar slope, and I'll take the EQ off here in a second, and you'll hear what it sounds like flat. So there we go. And though the microphone is fairly flat in itself, it sounds terrible on the radio. At least I think it does. I'll put the EQ back on. So there we go. Yeah, you got to EQ these mics.
Oh yeah, big difference.
Well, you guys sound you're almost 30 over.
Lock him in the closet again.
So you got a fantastic audio. All of you guys.
Did you shut your amplifier off, Rick?
No. I just no. I'm still peaking about 750, but I cut the mic gain down to 10 from 20. Over.
Well, hold it. Bring it to 15. It almost disappeared.
Oh, okay. Well, I think that's our short distance between us.
Negative.
I think it's propagation. Hold on.
Absolutely not. You dropped half signal strength.
Well, what about right now, Ray?
Set it at 15.
You said what?
Set it mic gain to 15.
Yeah, well, what is my signal strength right now?
You're nice and loud. You're 5 and 9.
Yeah, okay. But I'm still at a mic gain level of 10.
Yeah, but your audio dropped unbelievable from 20 to 10. Set it to 15.
Okay, I got you. Yeah. Mic gain. Intelligibility, I understand. Okay, this is 15. WX2T with NR1R.
Leave it there. Perfect.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, you're 30 over here.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Well, but man, you're hunky-dory with your amplifier in line, a.k.a. your loop.
Well, all you guys, I'm getting a fantastic signal from everybody. I mean, everybody's 30, 35 overs. Conditions over my home must be pretty good.
Rick, you sound great here, 15 to 20 over. Ron, Ray, and whoever else is in there, have a nice evening. K3AC will be clear.
Have a nice night.
Okay.
7-3.
Yeah, Dr. Bob, 7-3, take care. Thanks for your input.
Is that you in there, Mike?
It's a crazy world out there, guys.
Hey, boy, don't get me going.
Just testing output audio here, but without any power output, no transmit.
They want to start seizing assets. They're bloodthirsty. They're starting to foam at the mouth, Mike.
Hunter Biden.
Oh, that's the way Marxists behave. We've seen this many times before.
Hunter Biden is innocent.
Biden's innocent, all right, just like the rest of them. Just get them the hell out of here.
He just went for a physical today. He went flying colors.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, do you remember when presidents used to have the Surgeon General? Now, what the hell is the Surgeon General supposed to do? You know, but years ago, the Surgeon General, who was supposed, well, you know, he's part of the administration, so obviously he had a little bit of an ideological bent, but it wasn't as pronounced. Oh, there we go. I hit the boom again. I'm sorry. It wasn't as pronounced back in those days. So, you know, so he gave the report, and the Surgeon General gave the report, held a special news conference. You know, the president is fine, or whatever. They didn't give all his vital statistics and everything, but they gave a general overall report. Now, you would never see that now. By the way, and not to be racial about it, but the Surgeon General is a black man. He's so, you know, that I don't know. Maybe that's a little bit of a tainted situation. You know, for diversity, you got to have diversity, right? In the administration, let's face it, gentlemen, you have to have diversity. So,
Surgeon General's the guy demanding you get a vaccine. Something's very, very wrong.
And then it gets generated through Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, as I call her. So, what the hell? Before you get the net result, what do you end up with? Nothing.
Remember, this one. This black guy, the Surgeon General, he's the only black guy in history to stick his finger up a white man's ass.
Yeah, this is WB2 USA with a wonderful group, Joe.
John, you sound great, WX2T.
Well, thank you. Everybody sounds great this evening.
John always sounds great. Be right back, 12 a.m.
Hello, Mike.
I love that loop up there, man, in Pittstown. I know Pittstown. I know exactly where you are. I told you, my wife has a girlfriend, a friend of hers that she went to Muhlenberg College with in Pensy, and she lives up there with her husband, right around the corner from you. So, yeah, you got a great location, John.
Yeah, it's the cheapest antenna you could build. A 160-foot loop, 160-meter loop, 537 feet long.
Well,
are you feeding that with open wire?
No, I used to feed it with open wire, 450 ladder line. But because of my location, it was beating on a chimney, and what happened as time went on during one of the winter months, it broke a hole in it, and then my SWRs went crazy. And then what I did is I changed it to a coax, and the coaxial cable. And I find no different in outgoing signal or signal reports that the loop antenna is doing any worse or better than it did.
Hey, John?
Yeah, hold on. WB2 USA, this is WB2RON. Yeah, just curious. So that's a 160 meter loop, and you're using it on 80 meters. Can you use that on other bands too with coax?
Oh yeah. Well, I have a A22K tuner here, and on 160 meters, it just needs to be tickled a little bit. And down here, I tickle the SWRs down, and it's really nice. And I could go down to 40 meters, and I've also went down to 20 meters and have had no problem at all with it. So it's so far so good.
Well,
yeah, okay, that's great. How long is the coax?
The coax about, I don't know. Let's see. I'm trying to think. I'm going to say maybe 70 feet.
Yeah, okay, so your loss isn't all that high. I think the only drawback to using coax is that at higher frequencies and higher SWRs, you can get loss in that. As long as you can tune it in, the radio will be happy, though. Yeah, okay, very good. I'm also using a loop here, but its problem is it's not very high. It's only about 25 feet above the ground. It's 300 feet, non-resonant, but I'm feeding it with open wire. I originally fed it with ladder line, but when it rained, the ladder line, the SWR changed a lot with the ladder line, so I changed it over to open wire, 4-inch spacing. It's about an 80-foot run to the feed point of the antenna, and I get very little change with SWR. And then I have that going into a Johnson matchbox, so I can tune it to a perfect match on any band, 80 through 10, even the WARC bands. So it's working, but it's a little bit of a nuisance when I have to change bands. That's all. Back to you, John.
Yeah, well, Ron, you know what it is, too. I used to have a 450 ladder line here, like I said before, where I live in the winter months, and even during the summer months. I get a lot of wind, and it was beating on the side of the chimney, and there were a hole in it. So when I did change it over to the coax, if it didn't work out properly, I would have went back to the ladder line. But when I changed it, I talked around to a bunch of guys, and I asked about, how's it sound, and they said they don't detect any difference between the ladder line that I had and the coax. So the coax is still there, and that's what I'm talking. And then, incidentally, on 160 meters, I could actually, bypass the tuner itself. It does a fantastic job on 160 meters.
Just give that ladder line a couple twists per foot, and the wind won't be a problem.
Mine is off, would not be resonant at any frequency because it's 300 feet, so I wouldn't be able to do that. But it just works, so I leave it alone. Very good, John. And what are you running for radio?
Oh, I have an old radio, and I don't have an SDR. This is you're listening to an ICOM 7600.
Yeah, boy, it looks really good on the pan adapter. I could see it's 3KY, but nice sharp skirts. It sounds good.
Very good. Thank you very much. I think, Mike, did you say something? I heard you in the background.
Yeah, just take that ladder line, give it about 2 twists per foot, and the wind won't be as much of a problem.
Yeah, that's what I did up here, too. With all the wind here in Rogues Island off the bay here, I did the same damn thing. I had the old JSC stuff, which was manufactured in Wayne, New Jersey. And at that time, I had bought a 500-foot spool. I was lucky, direct from the manufacturer, but it was 12 gauge at the time. They don't make that anymore, but that's all since gone. It's oblivion. It got cracked in UV, and just the fatigue from wind and everything else. So, God, I had that stuff for 25, 30 years. I used it as much as I could up here. And then John, excuse me, I think I'm moving the boom. I'm sorry. About a year ago, I homebrewed my own stuff with 3.5-inch spacers and 14 gauge. THNN, everything's hunky-dory, and even through the winter here with ice and part of the feed line running on the ground, I think that's an old wives' tale. I had no problems. I've had no problems tuning, and it's a 160-meter dipole going through a very, very low-loss tuner. So, live and learn.
Yeah, let me jump in. Hold on.
Excel PE, not THHN, polyethylene.
Yeah. Well, you know what I did, Mike? I just used what I had laying around just to test it out, So eventually, when this crap goes, I'll upgrade.
Yeah, I'm going to jump in. Yeah, okay. I got to get out of here anyway, so great running into you guys this evening. I wanted to talk to Steve a little bit more, GMM, but unfortunately he took off on us. So 73s all around. Let's see. Just as a point of reference, I am using a shock mount here. I saw in the pan adapter when I didn't have the shock mount, I was seeing these little spikes in my audio. I could see it on the pan adapter, picking up something vibration on some kind of vibration here on the table. I don't even recall if it was like 60, 100, or 20 hertz, or if it was something else. But there was something there. I added the shock mount, and it went down by 15 dB. Actually, it went down almost into the noise. So the shock mount certainly helps in some cases, and probably would work for you, Rick. Okay, 73s. I'm going QRT. WB2R01 is clear, and I'll turn it back to you, Rick.
Okay, keep it quick. WB2RON, WX2T. Yeah, it's always a pleasure. Right across the handshake, across the sound, and across the bay. Always a good connection. And I think I might try something different here, honestly. Especially for rag chewing. Not to do what Richie does necessarily, or some of you other guys, not so advanced, but just to get something different. I was thinking about, I really like the Neumann TLM 103 and getting a kit and doing something like that. Something quasi, not real high end, but pretty damn good situation with a whole kit, the windscreen and everything. So I'm thinking about it. We'll see you later, Ron. You always sound great. WX2T.
Yeah, you can always try an SM58. I'm sure you being in a band, you probably have a couple of those lying around. 73. So I'll talk to you tomorrow. Pretty sure I'll be here. See you then.
Yeah, you're 20 over, by the way. Potent.
Okay, Ron,
enjoy. Yeah, you're 30 over. Meters are relevant. We've had that discussion before. We won't go into that.
AC3GD.
There goes the neighborhood.
Well, I gotta warn you fellas, the front that just went through, that is going through, I had a gust, a 29-mile-an-hour gust, which really isn't that much, but it went from 5 mile an hour earlier this afternoon when I got home, and it's pretty windy, so tighten your jock straps.
So it's on its way over here, huh?
If you are east of me, it is. AC3GD, I'll be listening.
Yeah, well, I'm up in the mountains here. I should be getting that wind pretty soon, I would imagine.
Yep, you watch. It'll happen.
Yeah, I got high wind warnings here.
Yeah, you're in a high area also, right, Mike?
Well,
Yeah, I'm about 1,000 feet above sea level.
We're forecast here along the coast, up in Rogues Island here, to have 50 to 55. So we shall see. And it was pretty hairy last night, too.
Bring it on, baby. Let it blow.
Yeah, baby.
Well, I'll tell you, it's been warm all day today. It's 57 degrees outside. Wow.
Yeah, hit 60 here.
And they said it's supposed to drop like an anchor tomorrow.
KB2 UKA. Good evening.
Hello, Doug.
Hello. Hey, Doug.
Hey, guys. Hope you're doing well.
Doug, sound hunky-dory. WX2T.
Everyone's coming. Conditions are real good tonight. You guys are sounding marvelous.
Wait till tomorrow.
Oh, you think it's going to be even better? Or are all our antennas going to be blown down?
No, we had an M-class flare about...
Yeah, there was a flare today, and it'll take it a couple hours to get here. I had 60.2, fellas, at 4 p.m. when I got home, nice and mild. I actually did some outdoor work between the showers, and it's dropped to 44 degrees. So when you guys get that front that goes through with the high wind, there goes all your nice balmy temperatures. And good evening, Doug and Rick and everyone else out there. AC3 GD.
Yeah.
What?
Well, good evening.
I don't want everything to start blooming again.
Yeah, it's going to drop way down, but we're ready for it. They said we might even have, some down power lines and what have you. As long as it's not an EMP, I'm okay.
They threw in some boomers. They said they were going to get some boomers along with.
Hey, you guys all prepared for the EMPs and the computer hacking and everything? I mean, it's starting to get pretty hairy out there, guys.
Yeah, I got a big lithium iron phosphate battery backup, and I just recently redid my firewall.
Yeah, that's cool, Mike. It's getting hairy, and well, of course, the zombies, which we all know about, the zombies out there that are not clued in, that don't watch the news or don't know anything, or they look at their little lying handheld devices every morning when they wake up, and they think that's the truth. They don't realize, but Mike, we've been through this before so many times, right? On 44 or far too far, but it's just it's going to be a rude awakening pretty soon, and in a way, if it happens, it might be good for the election, if you know what I mean.
Actually, it already happened. What do you think the AT&T cell phone outage was about?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I agree, Mike, but I don't wish anything really cataclysmic like on 9/11, but you know what I mean? What will it take? Here's a question, rhetorical question. What will it take for the American public to finally wake up?
What will it take for people to wake up and get that stupid phone out of their hands?
Exactly.
I mean, if you don't know what's going on by now, there's no help for you.
Yeah, let me tell you a short story. Yesterday, my wife down, because she was getting her physical, she had to take a blood test. So we went into the hospital where they take your blood. And there must have been 7 or 8 people in that waiting room, and I looked around and I poked my wife, and everyone sitting there had their face in their phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what people don't realize is they track every intimate detail of your life there. They know how many times you wipe your ass.
Yeah, and they're listening. They're listening to every conversation and every breath that you take, and keep the damn thing turned off as much as you can.
Yeah, but I was surprised. I said to my wife, "Look at this." I poked her. She looked around, and everybody there all had their faces in their phone, and it wasn't not only the younger people, but there were some older people in there. They all had their faces in their phones also.
Yeah, so?
Yeah, well.
What's the
look what happened with the AT&T outage. People were losing their minds. People can't drive from A to B anymore without a phone telling them, make a right now.
Remember the good old days when we had maps?
Remember the good old days when all the phone numbers were in your head?
Yeah. I remember when I was on the road selling. I was in sales, with Pioneer. I had all my accounts and everything. I had an appointment set up with a buyer, a buying agent. And I didn't have a damn phone. Yeah, maybe I had as a crutch. I had my appointment book, and maybe if it was a new account or something, I had the buyer's name and I had his phone number, and we all went to damn phone booth, phone booth, and but the guys that I normally did business with, yeah, I remember their phone numbers. I didn't need a damn cell phone.
Yeah, they had.
Plus, you're exposing yourself to RF. The thing is right next to your head. There's no clearance.
We're all numbered, gentlemen. They're all spying on us. It's a disaster. I don't know. Maybe I'm too dramatic about it, but I don't trust. And then now with AI, Mike, what do you think about AI and the influence on the next election? Well, I think we thought it was bad last time. You think that the Dems are devious and smart enough to employ AI to their advantage?
Yeah, it's an evil thing, Rick. It's Satan's creation.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I just don't. I can't get too excited about it. I don't know. I just don't trust the whole system. There hasn't been enough discussion. There hasn't been enough hope. Enough dialogue about what has been done to ensure a bona fide, free and fair election over the disaster that we just saw.
Gentlemen, I got to get out of here. I just got the call for dinner. WB2 USA. Good night, everyone.
73. Take care.
7-3, John. Take care.
I'm still here. I'll be here another 10 minutes. I got to take my son out in a little bit, but I'll be back probably around 7:15. But I'm just listening, boys. I'm doing some work here. KB2 UKA.
Come on, man. Make a good transmission. We want to hear something from the voice of reason.
I'm all spread out right now. I got too many things going through my head to put a coherent thought together. But man, you guys sound good. And yeah, so that flare happened. Yeah, so probably around tomorrow morning, everything will be dead.
Yeah. Well, my experience is it's interesting. We'll see what happens. I saw that too on my DX site, but we'll see what happens up on the upper bands too. It's bizarre. Anything can happen. So it's always fun. It's always fun. But yeah, even more so than ham radio, I'm just concerned about our country and what the hell is going on. And I went to my doctor today for a 6-month recall and had an interesting discussion with him about malaise and how many people are having head problems, dealing with what's going on. And I said, have you noticed that? I was kind of questioning him because I think he's on the left, a little bit. And have you noticed that, people getting very, very concerned, worried, different disorders and malaises, depressions, anxiety disorders? And he said, oh, yeah. Oh, definitely, I've seen it. Yeah, Rick, I've seen it. And then I asked him, I said, what do you think? What do you think? Do you watch the news? Do you see what's going on? And I didn't want to bury myself, but I handled it on a very...
Hey, Mike, just let him know I had to go. I'm sorry. I'll be back later. KB2 UKA.
He says, Rick, yeah, it is depressing. I see a lot of people coming in with anxiety and depression disorders and what's going on in the world and in the country. And I said, well, yeah, that's what I'm asking you. And he said, you know what? He says, I almost feel the same way. I don't watch the news anymore. And I came back this afternoon And I said to Jen, I said, he doesn't watch the news anymore. I'm a little bit concerned about my doctor. Over?
Well, you should have told him. That's what happens when Marxists attempt to overthrow your republic.
Yeah, exactly, Mike. You know, I mean, where the hell do you go with this shit? You know, because it's so tainted. Mike, honestly, you've known me for a while. I go off on tangents. I'll keep it short. I can't believe. It's just uncanny how many people, and it's not only younger people or middle-aged people, but it's seniors too. I mean, I'm going to be 70 in May, okay? But I think I have my faculties about me, and I know what the hell is going on. But I hopefully that lasts. But I just can't believe, and I know it's the media. The media is the distortion of truth. The media is the culprit. I just can't believe, Mike, every single day when I take my own little polling, you know what I mean? I go around, I talk to people I know, friends, people I don't know. I take my own little polling, you know? And like Quinnipiac or other polls, I just can't believe. It's so sick. It's so sad how many people are tainted. Over.
But they're not even hiding anything anymore, Rick. Look, the sexual perversions are right out in front. They want to normalize pedophilia. Instead of calling it pedophilia, they're calling it minor attracted person. I mean, they have mental disease to the nth degree. It's sad the world we're living in now. And the money is so debased that the children can't even afford to start their lives. I mean, something got to give somewhere. We're bringing in tens of millions of people and handing them $1,500 a week to live on with taxpayer money. And, you know, these libtards, they don't understand. The money they're giving them comes from the tax revenue.
Right. Yeah. Exactly right. Minor... I didn't realize that was the accepted form. That minor attracted people. Oh boy, yeah. See, there's always they change the nomenclature. Over.
And then when Daddy makes them dead, they get upset.
What a disaster, you know. But, you know, even though the polling shows that Trump is way ahead, and even among the Dems, they're displeased and they're upset, and or they may not vote for Biden. All right, well, what's going to happen to the people on the left that are the disparate people that are disjointed, and they don't want to vote for Trump? So there's going to be a certain element on the left that's unhappy, okay? But they would never vote for Trump because he's evil. He's a Nazi, right? So what's going to happen to those people? I wonder. I'd like to get a better polling aspect of that, Mike, to see how many of that alleged electorate is you know, they're unhappy. You know, they're not happy with what's going on. What's going to happen to them? So are they going to just vote for uncommitted for some other bullshit artist that happens to throw his name up on the ballot, or are they just not going to vote at all? And well, maybe that's good because that'll mean more for the right. Over.
Trump is cleaning up. He's landslided every primary he's run. You got to ignore their numbers because the Democrats come out and voted in the Republican primary. I mean, it's getting pretty nasty. But, don't worry about it. Hey, Even the Jews are going out and buying guns and voting Republican. There's a paradigm shift there. They realize the Democrats don't give a shit about them. Defund the police, and then they're saying to themselves, well, how am I going to protect myself? Did you see what went on in Harlem over there?
Mike. Sorry, Mike. I just stepped out, but I heard you. Yeah, there is a paradigm shift, and even these lefties, and I'm not talking about the Squad or the AOC freaks, bullshit artists, but some people, although they're kind of like Bernie-like. And I know a lot of them here in Rogues Island in Massachusetts, just over the border. The elitists, and those who have exonerated degrees from Ivy League institutions. And I'm not talking about recent. These are old school Democrats, but they consider themselves, well, I don't think they realize it, but they are elitists, And they realize, Mike, Biden's ridiculous policies, and they see that he's incompetence Mendes, and he's got all kinds of problems. But he said, well, these people that I know or I heard about them locally and what have you, they're 60 plus, but they say, but, okay, maybe we can prop him up. Okay. But he's still better than the Nazi Trump and the MAGA Republicans. Mike, it's disgusting, isn't it? It's WX2T with N2LYM.
Nazi is bullshit. It's an invented word. Please, you're gonna drive me off my rocker here. These people are outright communists, and they have to be removed from our nation because they're not Americans. You can't stay here if you're not an American.
Yeah. Oh, exactly right. But they use that terminology because it's. They go after shock value. It's shock value, Mike. They call him a Nazi, and then the idiots they believe it. Over.
Even Hitler wasn't a Nazi. His grandmother's name was Schickelgruber. You know what that means, right?
I forget the literal translation, but I'm part German. Hit me with it.
Hitler's maternal grandmother was Jewish. That made Hitler Jewish.
Yeah, okay. Well, that puts a different twist on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, and something else I recently learned, too, was the king communist FDR, the liberal idol. Turns out he came from a very wealthy family. His grandfather made a killing in the opium market. The Democrats are such nice people. Yeah, well, that was years ago. I guess it's just like anybody. There's been a lot of Republicans too. Wherever there's some market, they'll seize upon it. Who the hell? Us people. We're not privy to everything, but it's interesting. It's really interesting. Well, I got about 4 or 5 minutes to the stay of execution for dinner, Mike. But it's always a pleasure, and it's a good frequency. You get a lot of people stop. This is one of those, what do they call it, stop by frequencies. Over. Yeah, Roger. Everybody seemed to take off. All right, Rick, we'll catch up with you later. I got to go see what's going on with dinner here, too. N2LYM.
Yeah, pray for the Republic, Mike. N2LYM, WX2T.
It's going to be hell to pay. Mark my words. Hey, before I go, I'm going to go out on a limb and make another prediction. If they succeed in normalizing pedophilia, bestiality is next. N2LYM.
Well, I hope so. I would hope that. I would have hoped that bestiality would have been first, Mike. Over.
Yeah, it's just because most liberal women are dogs. You're saying that.
It's a sick world, Mike.
No, listen. This past election in 2016, I would. When I saw a Hillary bumper sticker on the highway, I'd speed up and check out the person driving, and the conclusion of my poll is that libtard women are some of the ugliest creatures on this planet.
Oh, no question about it. I concur. Totally. Over.
Yeah, that's why conservative women trigger them. They're usually knockouts.
It's true. Well, we don't. We'll be accused of being, misogynist and racist and so on and so forth. But and overgeneralization. But it is true. If you take your own polling, I agree with you.
They freak out and scream at you. You're a Republican. I said, no, I'm an American. You're a communist.
It's disgusting, Mike.
Who could be against Make America Great Again? You're an American living in America, and you're against making America great again. I mean, you have a mental disorder.
Exactly. And now the additional mantra that a lot of guys have been saying is, and Trump will do it, he'll do it, it's make America safe again.
Make America central bankless again. Let's dig up Andrew Jackson.
Yeah. Well, safe again. Look at what happened. I have to tell you, the greatest city in the world, New York. I won't go back there. Jen and I will never go back there again. And this guy, this weak sister, bullshit artist, Adams, and he's a disaster. But when you declare yourself, it's simple. It's very simple, right? You know this. I'm not lecturing you. I'm just stating a fact. You declare yourself as a sanctuary city. What the hell do you expect? So it's like the little boy that cried wolf. Now he's seeking. He's worried about the situation, and he's worried about the plight that he's in. He extolled the virtues, quote unquote, of being a sanctuary city, and now he's up to his shit's creek, and now he wants federal aid. I mean, what an ironic bullshit situation.
No, that's what all of this is about. That's why they were taking the illegals to begin with, so they could get federal money. But look what just happened in Harlem. There was a brand new building. I mean, it was built as luxury apartments, had a swimming pool on the roof in Harlem. And supposedly they built this for seniors, Americans living here. And now all of a sudden this Eric Adams wanted to put illegals into place. But the brothers and the sisters weren't having it, and they were going to barbecue him. He backed off.
Yeah. Well, he had to. Yeah, and that's what I meant before. Maybe I didn't presented properly, but you know, there's so many different aspects to this, right, Mike? This is why this is so ironic. And these idiots, they cook their own situation. They cook their own situation. You know what I'm saying? N2LYM WX2T. I'm going to dinner, brother.
Yeah, they saw it as another opportunity to bleed the taxpayer dry. We'll pretend we're a sanctuary city. We'll take these billions of dollars of federal money and we'll line our pockets. This is what's going on. Problem is, they haven't gotten a penny, and I'm laughing my ass off. Enjoy dinner, Rick. We'll catch up with you. WX2T. Yeah, all the way up there in Rogues Island. N2LYM, 7 and a 3.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, no, you hit the right on the money. That's it. It's so ironic. It's they get egg all over their faces. They're idiots, you know, and they should have anticipated it. It's all part of the mantra, you know. This is their mantra, and this is what they have to say. So, see you later, Mike. WX2T.
Don't forget, the money changes are going down. Prepare appropriately. N2LYM.
Yeah, like you say, Mike. I believe it. I try to be proactive and be positive, but I can only see it getting worse because I think the left is going to try to pull out all the stops. We know they're going to lie, cheat, beg, borrow, steal, and they have been all along. So, but the Republicans are weak too. Well, anyhow, we could go on and on, Mike.
Yeah, the McDonald's CEO just said business is way down. People making under $50K don't come there anymore. I guess they can't afford a $18 Big Mac.
Yeah, isn't that sick? What a ridiculous marketing situation, and price point, and what you're trying to purvey. Oh God! Well, the costs of goods and services based upon the ineptitude and the policies of Uncle Joe. That's what it all boils down to. WX2T. Mike, always a pleasure. God bless. 7-3. God save the Republic.
And remember, Ray Kroc is not in the hamburger business. He's in the real estate business. We'll catch up with you, Rick. N2LYM.
Yes. Yeah, see you, Mike. Anybody else? WX2T.